Hello YouTube. I'm going to do a few videos about the stuff I found in my creek 2024. I know I said I was going to do it, and I just never have got around to it. I'm just going to show just the stuff that I found in my creek. I won't know the names of a lot of it. I've got to get rid of it. So it's about to go, and I wanted to get it on video before I did that. So here we go. I'm going to start out with what I think is some of my nicest stuff. And then there's a lot of stuff I do not know the names of, so you know how it rolls. This is one of my pieces that I have shown. Let me see if I can get a good... I put a piece, I got water below me here. I wanted to show it dry and then get it wet. And I put this piece of material on top here to knock the glare out of the light. I got really excited the day I found this, because when I started out in that creek, I found a piece about that big, just that little spot. And I knew, I was like, man, if I can find one little piece like that, there's bigger pieces. So I kept looking, and it just kept getting better and better and better. I'm going to go ahead and wet it, because of course all this stuff is much prettier wet. You can see all the details now. This hasn't been scrubbed down or cleaned or anything. I just was so busy doing with what I do here at home that I don't have a lot of time to sit and scrub things. I wash too many dishes. I have found other ones like this, and I actually made some cabs out of it, and they turned out really nice. I got them somewhere on a video. I'll try to go a little faster, that way we can see some stuff. These are some of my favorite ones, of course. I got real excited when I found this one. And again, all this is from my creek that I didn't even know existed. I mean, I knew the creek was there, but I didn't know these beautiful rocks were in it until I started watching YouTube. I mean, none of this has been worked. I know how beautiful this is going to be when I work it and put a shine on it. Just leaving it natural like it is. That's the underneath of it. That's the top. Well, you know how that works. However you see the top. I believe this is on one of my... Oh, well, that would be on another thing. Okay. These are my favorite ones, so I'm going to put them separate. I just reached for this one. There's no sense in going through it dry and then doing the big old surprise when you see it. There's not a lot of red down there in that creek. So when I do find something with red in it like this, looks like I'm going to have problems with this camera trying to focus in on my stuff because of the glare of the lights. And I'm not starting over. But you can see there's not... This will cut well. And it'll polish well. I'm going to have to do something different, because I'm not getting my... This right here is taken away from my... from the rocks. So I have got to rearrange here real quick. Dropping stuff. Sorry about this. I'm going to move my water bucket up and just work right here. Yeah, that's gonna work better. If I can get that glare out, oh, the joker's gonna fall. Okay. I will show this one dry, because that's the way I found it. You see how nice that is. It's got a couple of little cracks, but it don't seem to be going straight through. I just really like them lines. I have no idea what this is called. I know it looks a lot better wet. I just like those lines and that shape, that form in it, and that V. I like the V. If I ever decided to cut this, which I doubt, I'm probably gonna get rid of this. Not sure what I'm gonna do with them yet. I think I may even make a video and go back to the creek and take all these back and release them into the wild. Let's see here. This one. This is another one that I was real happy to find. Couldn't believe I found this in my creek. And I'll do a separate video with the ones where I can shine the lights through it. I like doing that. They create their own illusions. You'd be surprised at the stuff I didn't have to do to make that stuff look like it did last time. Just lights and rocks. I'm really enjoying myself. This is going to be beautiful when it's polished up. There'll definitely be some Dremel work, because I wouldn't want to flatten any of this out. I'd want to leave it whole. I guess I showed y'all the back. It's a nice little heavy piece, but I believe if all this was cleaned out and these lines were exposed, it'd just be absolutely gorgeous with the eyes all over it, because it's got them all over it. And what excites me is I know that I found this down there, and I know there's more of it. So I'll be getting more. But I've got to get rid of this stuff from this summer, because I don't want a pile of rocks, and I've got to get rid of it. And I found this. I'm going to try my best to quit saying I found this at my creek, because all this is going to be from the creek. And you can't see the Jersey. I just cannot get that word out of my mouth. I do not know why. Druzy. D-R-U-Z-Y. Jersey. But anyway. You can't see it. It's really nice, and there's some fortification lines here. And it goes all through the rock. And you can see it running through here. I'll try to pay attention. I've done forgot about a lot of this stuff and what it looks like. This is when I first started hunting rocks. But I've truly enjoyed my adventure last year. I'm better off than I've been in a really long time. That's a beautiful rock. It ain't no telling what that's going to look like. Now, these ones I'm showing now will not be taken back. I'm going to work these. Some of them I already have. I'll show you some cabochons and stuff that I've made. This was just a regular red rock. And I took it and put it on the wheel and just free-handed a cab out of it. I think I even did a video with it. It's better, something when you polish something, it's better dry than it is wet. So let me dry this real quick. Try to. but I put a real good polish on here. And when you can really see it, it's full of gold flakes. You see how it's got that clear line on the top and right here? So when you're looking at this, you can see down into it. And it's just like it's just a clear top with a bunch of gold sparkles and just different kinds of lines and stuff in there. You can really see it in that one. You can see it sparkling. How it's just full of that gold glitter. Not sure what they would call that. I just picked this up and I could feel it. I knew I had something in my hands because of the way it the weight and the color that was coming out of it. I have quite a big chunk of this that I worked. Some of it's gonna be in my bag. I always like to find little oddities like this. I believe that was once inside of a host rock, which would have been that, and it got worn away over the years. But I just love little oddities and the way it holds itself together. Not sure what it is or what it would be called. I just like it. I found this. Looks really old. My hands are, there's a line running in the back of it. Never noticed that before. That line there. But that's what caught my attention was those dots. They're so uniformed. Excuse me. Never seen anything like that before. But it came out of my creek. My creek is about a mile from the Alabama River. And I believe that I've said it before in a video that um, I think it's an old riverbed that curved up into it, and the artesian spring that I'm hunting in has uncovered a section of that riverbed. Because if I go 1 mile one way, I run out of good stuff, and if I go 1 mile the other way, I'll run out of good stuff. And I found this. This is my first one I found like this, and you talk about excited, because when it's wet, it is really pretty. It's not coming through very well, but it's pink. You can see the tops of it had been worn before I got it. Then I polished the end of it just to see what it would look like polished. And it came out really nice. Let me dry that off. I mean, this joker is nice. You couldn't have asked for something better to polish. And it has got some depth. Just the movement in it alone is amazing. I really like this. This is one of my favorite pieces. I couldn't imagine what I could, I mean, I have all kind of ideas what could be done with it, but I could not imagine it being any prettier than it is, chopped up or done anything like that with it, or even taking this off to expose, because it would turn, it has a line there in the white section. I don't know how good that's coming through, but it is quite beautiful. And it's a heavy little rock, and it's not that small. My fingers are about, I'd say that's about 4 inches long. Maybe 2 inches wide, or an inch and a half. That's just one of my special ones. I really was proud of that, being the first. It's something how you can have problems remembering somebody's name, but for me, when I pick up a rock, I remember exactly where I found it and exactly what I thought when I picked it up. It's just unbelievable how it sticks with me. When I'm in that creek and I say that I lift up that old ugly pieces of sandstone, looks just like this, and I say I'm checking it because I found that purple stone in it. Well, this is the one. You can see the jersey right here, and then it's just I guess it got worn through the years of running through that creek. But then when I flipped it over, I was completely amazed, because you can't, the purple's not coming through. But that's why I look at all those big slabs of what looks like sandstone when I'm down there. I'm looking for this, and it'll happen one day. And you know how water kills that sparkle. It's like a regular old rock now. And I'm just, with that going down inside of it, that might be something in there, but it could even be a piece of wood, actually. I never looked at it like that before. I'm just not sure. I'm not experienced enough to actually make calls like that. But it's good and heavy. Nice, good piece. And just, you know how it is when you find something. It's yours and it's personal. And those little, I wished I could zoom in and show things sometimes. Because these right here are like little bitty round spots. Little clear circles. It looks like fish eggs. Caviar. But then you got the ones that are set and they have angles on them that makes that light. Look at there, it's sparkling even wet. You don't see that very much. But I've been looking for some wood here in Alabama that was covered up by that meteor strike, and it has just that crystals all over it. I don't even know if you would call it jersey or not, because the crystals are so large. This is a nice piece I found down there. My creek. I'm going to try to quit that. Not sure what it is, but it's nice and heavy. And this black is like a crystal form of some kind. I've got some other pieces with that in it. I'm going to set one of them rocks in here. Keep that joker from falling over. I just know how beautiful that's going to be when I polish it up. If I do. I'm just not going to be able to keep all this stuff. I can't keep collecting because I live in Alabama and we cannot have piles of rocks in our yard. All that's going to do is bring in snakes and rats, and then the big weeds will grow all in it, and you just have one big old mess. You won't even be able to see a rock, let alone get to it. And I've noticed even people that have those big pile of rocks, it's just the ones on top. Them ones on the bottom and in the middle, they'll never be looked at again. There's no sense in all that for me. Now, I know some of these people are out here making a living doing these rocks. So don't let anything I say, which I doubt anybody does. Anyway, this is just something I liked. It's heavy. It's got different colors in it. That is a flat area there. I got a few on my table here that I'm going to go through. I'm not going to keep any time. People can watch it, because I just want to have it on video because I'm proud of finding these. This is my first year rock hounding, so you could imagine how exciting it was for me. I know a lot of y'all have been doing it for years. Well, imagine never doing it. And then the lockdown, we met Katie Did online and discovered there was stuff in the rocks. And I like it. And then, two, this has never been cleaned. So, excuse that. I got too much. And I know there's chemicals and things to put stuff in, but I'm not one for chemicals. That's why I don't want a pile of rocks, because I'm not spraying rocks with chemicals to kill the bugs and to kill the weeds and kill anything else that touches it. I don't like it. This is a piece of petrified wood I found. It always makes me proud. I don't know why I love petrified wood so much, but I really do. It's got some beautiful lines in it. You can see some good structure right here. I've got some much bigger pieces. I've got some stuff here that I've shown down at that creek. And I had no idea what it was. But you could see that it had some, I guess that'd be called chalcedony, which is like agate inside of it. And then when you get it wet, it's not too different. You can still see a lot of structure and stuff in it. And then, I was taking that class, so I took it in, because that's what I'd do. I'd run down to the creek on a Monday, and I'd look for stuff to take into that class for Tuesday. Well, we cut it. And he told me it was Agatized Petrified Wood. I've got it. Once you cut it, it looks better dry. And that might not look like much until you see it. This is my end piece. Not going to see. It don't matter about this being wet, because once you cut it, it's better dry. Let me take this away. Let me get a better picture of it. Here's another piece. That's like a centerpiece. This is where I can show you how beautiful it is. Let me turn this light off. And show you this. Look at that. It is like a sunset. Absolutely beautiful. And I've got tons of it. And each one's different. They will change colors on you when you shine through. You just would not believe the excitement in my face whenever I realized that ugly rock cut and turned into that. It's just amazing. Oh, that's nice. I can do it with a light on. I am learning. But yeah, that really done something. That's going through the back. So you can see that structure. That's what I see when I'm looking at it. I can see those lines. And I knew I had something because of the weight. But I just didn't know what I had. And I could still be wrong. I just trusted this man. He was a lot older than me and had been doing this for many, many, many years. He was actually teaching me how to do it. And so when he told me that it was petrified wood, I just took him at his word. This is another piece of it. See how that resembles that piece with all that stuff in there. But then when I cut it, it's totally different. Got reds and pinks in there. And I couldn't find the rest of it. I've put it somewhere. I'm trying to box stuff up or get rid of it. I'm boxing it up, putting it to another room, and then I'm just gonna I won't be taking cut rocks back to the creek, but I'm gonna take a lot of this stuff back because I'll be able to find it forever. Well, you always think you can till you can't. See how pretty that is? That joker is beautiful. And I've got a big old slab of that. And then there's more down there. I've only tested maybe 3 or 4 of them. And I just know what they are now. And my interest is pretty much gone. They still fascinate me. See, that's not a fracture right there. That is an old healed fracture. And it's just, then see, that's an end piece. So it's not going to be your prettiest piece. And you can see where I stopped. Look at that cut. So when I was first learning how to cut stuff. And I guess, I don't know what that would be called right there. It's like a little agate, or I don't know if quartz forms in this or not. Not sure. And I think I covered these. Yeah, we looked at them. Oh, look. Okay, here's another one. Now that joker right there might weigh 2 pounds. It is big and heavy. Let me see. And you can see it when it's wet. That's what it looks like when I find it. You can see the agate inside of it. Well, what I'm calling agate, I'm not sure if that's what you call an agate or not. But you can see, and then when you cut it, I got that out of it. Not sure how good you can see that with this camera being so close. But it just cut beautifully. It does have a fracture in it, but that whole side's fine. And you don't know how far that goes. And I'm not trying to sell it or anything. Not even trying to do anything with it. I was just new and was wanting to see what was inside the rock. And they told me this was also, so you can see into this. It's flat, but you can actually see that, like, down into it. It's something how that rock don't want to take water once it's been cut. I guess it might be the oil in the, or just the smoothness of the cut. No. But yeah, they said that's agatized wood. So that's what I got to go by. Here's a piece of that cut. And of course, the don't make a difference if it's wet or not. I and shine the light on it. You see how beautiful it is. Again, if you know what this is and you don't think it is petrified wood, I do not have a problem with learning. But I got a creek full of this stuff. I mean, full of it. All different shapes, sizes. I can get them big as your head, all the way down to the size of your fist. It's just hauling it out of that creek. And I just really don't want no more of it. I never tested it to see if it had a glow to it. I don't really know. I don't really do the UV stuff too much. Because it's like, even if you made jewelry out of it, you're going to tote around a UV light with you. And it's like, come here in this closet and look at my ring. So I think it's beautiful. It feels really nice. That's one of my things I like about the rocks, is how nice they feel, the texture. And if you can look in there, it's got fortification, like little small areas where there's fortification lines. And just the fact that you can see through it is just amazing to me. And how beautiful it is. Something you notice stuff in things that you don't see until you get under this light, this camera. And what I do when I go to the creek, when I see something that's got that line in it running like that, I pick it up real quick and just put it in my backpack. Because I'm with my mother, and she's unable to get out and go to that creek. And she's into Katie did and Josh and all them just as much as anybody else. And she really wanted to go hunt them rocks. I mean, like, really. Just like I did. We'd done been sitting here watching it long enough. And we got out there, and she's just not capable. So what I do is I will find me a rock, and I know it's got something. And I'll just sling it in my backpack real quick. And then when I get home, I get me a bucket of water, and we sit down on the sofa. I got a big towel, and we'll go through each one, and we both discover it at the same time because I hadn't really looked. So she gets to discover and see it. And I've noticed is when people are looking at rocks, you can see two different things. Like, she'll notice things that I don't see, and I see things that she can't. So it's amazing how you can be in two different universes. You can see the little bites down in that. So that's kind of heavy, and it's a big rock. There's no telling what that looked like. Cut in half. And I'm going to start cutting stuff. But a lot of this is going back where it came from. I'm separating it now as I'm going. From the stuff I am going to work, the stuff I'm taking back to the creek. Kind of give you an idea of what I think's pretty. Sometimes I get home and I can't figure out why in the world I kept certain things. But then I just remember, it's like when you learn how to use them wheels, you realize when you hit that right there with that wheel, that's going to change everything about this rock, because it's got a skin on it. And that's why I kept it, that ring that's making its way all the way around it here, right there. It's got fortification lines on it. And it's already shaped like a cabochon, so you ain't got much to work on before you can See what you got with a little bit of polishing. That would just really turn out to, to be beautiful. Excuse me, y'all. I don't talk a lot, so when I talk, I do talk a lot, but I hadn't talked in a while. This is another piece of that petrified wood that's agatized. It just surprises me how heavy it is. And then the texture of it. It's just unbelievable. Love the way them lines move to turn like that. I guess that's the wood in it. And this is purple. I mean, it's not a loud purple. Got the wrong end. Sorry about that, y'all. I just wanted to look like it shine through. Sometimes if it's dark enough, it will, but when it's solid like that, it's not happening. Okay. This is a piece that I found it. Excuse me. I think I actually have it where I picked this up out of the creek. And it's just perfect. It's like, wow, that joker's already nice. That's how I knew I had something going on. When I started finding stuff like this. And see, that comes through. So I don't know what I guess that would have to be an agate. Because, I mean, I got my fortification lines. It just looks like a crystal to me. But I'm not absolutely sure about anything. And I'll make me a video later doing this and making it twist. I like to do that. Okay. Don't believe that'd do anything wet. Yeah. I remember doing a video when I found this in the creek. I held it up like that and ended out whoosh, with it. This stuff right here. Don't know why I like it so much. I just do. It's heavy and you can find really nice pieces of it and it's just as smooth as silk. And then when it gets wet, it's even prettier. And I've got solid black pieces of it. I find it all the time. So I've gotten kind of picky with it. I don't take home a lot of stuff anymore because until I get rid of this stuff, I'm bound and determined to leave it alone. But this stuff takes a nice shine. And I mean, I know this one's got stripes in it. I just liked it because it had all these different motions and different, it looks like pictures to me with the mountains and the snow on top. I mean, I'm sure you know how we are, we can see stuff in things. It's a beautiful rock. But I find it, this is the same stuff, and it looks like this. And see, it's just a flat black. It don't have any, when it's wet, it's really pretty. And it has this weight to it, just pitch black. And I thought, man, that would look good if you cut it and did a doublet with it with opal. I'm not sure how that works, or that they have certain ones you can do it with, certain ones you can't. But it takes a polish like you would not believe. Let me dry this. Got a frog in my throat. See that polish I put on there? That was quick. Just a quick run through the wheel. It takes the polish really nice. Some of it is just, it'll actually shine through like a crystal. That's not one of them. No. But some of them I have found like this. I think I have one in my hand. Here's another piece that I cut and shined. It's the same stuff. You can see the edges of it. See how bad it looked when I found it? But I can just tell when I pick it up that that's where I cut it. And I just wanted to polish that end off just to see, because I'm kind of experimenting on what I can lay that opal on top of, or what I can maybe do an initial inside of this and lay that opal in it. It has a beautiful flawless shine with no cracks or anything, and I mean it's like a mirror. It's just black, so it absorbs a lot of the light. But when I'm looking down at it, you can really see it's so black you can almost spot colors in it. But you know how our imaginations are. Let me see if that'll shine through. Yep, see, look at there. That's one of them. See if I can get that to do it. That's one that you can actually see through it. I don't know how to do this. Shoot. Can you see that? Turn this off. Look at that. That just amazes me. I have no idea what this is that is black and you can shine a light through it. And then you can come out with such a pretty shine on it. I mean, could that be a black agate? I don't know. I just know I find them. I didn't know I had a piece up here to show, but I have been finding these. Cause see, I just started, October made me a year actually looking for rocks and having an idea of what I was looking for. And, you know, I've been looking for rocks all my life and finding them. I just always give it away. Here's another one that I did a cabochon with. Same stuff. Just to see what that would look like. It's dirty. But just wanted to see what it would do if I did a cabochon and polished it. And then cut an opal and put it on top. I don't know if it needs to be thinner. Hadn't researched that at all. Not anything. And you can see my mistakes. I can see that. You'd have to go through the wheels again to get that out. But it's amazing the way that feels and how nice it is. This is another rock I found down there. And of course I worked this one. I like to follow the lines that it's already in. I guess they call that a free form. But again, this wouldn't be any better wet, not after you shine them. Polish. See my mistake. But this is just a rough go through to see what I actually have. See, it really ain't much better. Don't even hold water good when you polish it. At the end, I didn't polish too much. Actually, looks worse now that it's wet. Can't see those pretty white lines. Not sure what that is. I guess it would be some kind of quartz Jasper mix or something. I'm not sure. Speaking of Jasper, oh, here's some more petrified wood. That's a good piece. I have to say I got quite excited when I found that. I know I've seen a lot prettier, but when you've never found a piece of it and you find a chunk that big, it weighs that much, man, does it get you excited. Especially when that's what's on your mind and that's what you're looking for. It's not really any different wet other than just a richer, prettier color. But there's no one thing that surprised me about it is that it's like a cut in it. I don't know if maybe when they used to make arrowheads, if they sharpened them, because every arrowhead I've ever seen was well, I guess you could sharpen bone too to make a knife, but it kind of looks like somebody used it as a sharpen something with, because you could sure hold it real good like this or like that, and then you would have this to be able to use it for whatever reason. You can actually see the roundness in it right here. It's got some beautiful form. You can smell it. It's a big, nice, heavy piece. I mean, it would be beautiful standing up somewhere because it will stand, or maybe laying somewhere with a nice piece on it, like a little show stand. I have another piece like that, but it is huge. I've done some videos with it before. I like this one because you can see the knots in it. And this one does have chalcedony running through it. It's quite heavy. It must weigh about 5 pounds. I cut the end of it off. You can see the lines of the wood in it. I was real excited. This is the very first piece I ever found. Very first piece. Never been scrubbed. I didn't clean it. By the time I get home, I'm hurting so bad I don't even got time to be scrubbing no rock. But I've done some videos and some pictures with this, with stuff sitting on here where I take pictures of it. Part of my little deal I do. But yeah, I like this one. It's nice and heavy. Two-hander. Just got to get it all up and out. Might as well just get them wet. I'm running. I'm going to post this no matter how long it is. People watch what they want. I do. I love watching rock videos. If they don't sit there and show you something else and just ramble on and on and on about nothing. Here's another piece of that black stuff I find that's so nice. I like to polish up. I got a lot of it because I got opal plants. This, let me see here. This is some more of that wood. I'm trying to find a piece. I'm just not seeing it. I just found a really nice, here's another piece of wood. I just found a really nice, my first Jasper. It was red, or like a burgundy. And I took it into the shop and made a really nice cabochon with it. And I've got the cabochon sitting here, but I don't have the main rock that I wanted to show it with. But you can see how nice that is. This is that wood again, or what they call in wood. I just took it in and that's what they told me it was. I gave away a piece of it. Kind of strange sometimes the way people can be. They'll just don't, I guess because they were jewelry makers. So if they don't see that jewelry in it, they're not seeing it. You see them beautiful, nice dots in there, and all this is just nice and clear. It ain't got no fractures in it at all. It's got a bust. There's something right there in it, but it'll shine like you just wouldn't believe. And then again, like I showed you, you can cut it. And right there is actually fortification lines in that. And here's some really pretty forms and shapes in that. And when you're in the dark and you shine your light on that, that light comes through this stuff. Some of it. Not the dragon fruit. This is a cabochon I made from the Jasper Jasper that I found. I had it right here by me. I think that might be what fell. I can't get up because I'm trapped in my chair with this desk in front of me. I was proud of that. I found my first Jasper. And if you could see it, that is just like the prettiest little, the way that sheen is inside of it. That's the back. I was proud that I made it. I had to learn how to do this before we moved to Opal. And I couldn't understand because I was like, man, I don't want to make these. I hate these. I don't want to make them. But then I got it. It just clicks. And all of a sudden you realize you got to know how to do one before you can do the other. I can't just throw that down. This right here, I love this stuff. You can see right through it. And it all turns out different. And then when you cab it, it is beautiful. You can't believe that's that. I see a lot of this is white that comes out of that creek. I guess that artesian well creates a white, like a white opal sheen over everything. And I have to clean all that off. But I took that down there that day and polished it up. I wish you could see the lines in that. how beautiful it is, how crystal clear it is, because you can flat see straight through it. I found a lot of different kinds of crystals and things down there, but this stuff it's just something I'm going to be working with, because you can find, I have some I'll show in a minute that's just got big nice orange stripes. That right there's something I was working on. Freehand, just working with my fingers, just a crystal. But when you hold it, you see that color? Ain't that amazing? I don't know if that would be called opal or what that's called. I discovered it in the creek. When I picked it up, I looked and I was like, whoa, that's got color in it. And I don't know what that would be called, but I did find it in my creek. Better this way. No, I just discovered all that, because I've seen a little bit in there. I didn't know it had that much. But yeah, that's them crystals I was shining the lights on the other night in the video. And this is just me down there on the cab machine, just, I guess you could call it playing, but I'm experimenting. Once you teach your brain how them wheels work, you learn when to start over before you make it all the way back to the other end. There it is. Let's see how this does. Look at there. I can see that color. There's both my rocks from the same creek. I just don't know what that is with them colors like that in there. It just, oh, there it is. But it's all in there. I'm just catching that end. That's what got me working on it when I spotted that color. If you know what that is, tell me, because I really am interested. I really would like to find out what that is, why that's got all that color in there like that. Just being from a creek in Alabama, and it was a nice size rock, pretty good size, and I just worked it down because I seen that color, so I was chasing that color, and then I just decided to leave it in the, because you can see it running up through here too, and it's just the way I've got this shaped and cut. You can't see it running in there, but it is. If you've ever seen that before, if you know what that is, because I've had people, like, I would show them stuff at my club, especially like elderly people, and they're like, nope, you didn't find that there. Oh, well, yeah, I did. It's like, I wouldn't stand here and lie to you like that. But no, they wouldn't believe it. This is a piece of petrified wood. And I like most about this is the sound of it. It sounds like porcelain or something instead of just regular petrified wood. But you can actually see the grains and stuff in it. And the knots. I don't know why that means so much to me when I find that. I just like it. I like the way it has shape and form, and to know that it was a piece of wood. And I really like trees. And we had that big meteor hit down here, so a lot of that stuff was covered up. So it's there. It's just got to be found, and it's just not a big interest for wood. I mean, for any kind of rocks in Alabama. I mean, there could be up north or something, but down here where I'm at, it's just a rock. I've been throwing stuff like this in the creek all my life, and never even thought of give it a second thought. Just didn't even mean nothing. Just a rock. Mostly try to find the flat ones where we could skip it across the creek. or the pond or lake or wherever we were. I don't know how that got there. I got a piece of that. That's a piece of that Somerville. This did not come from my creek. This is what I cut from Somerville. One of the bigger pieces. I mean, I knew those circles was gonna come out nice, but that really looks amazing. I can't believe I got a whole bucket full of this. I'm gonna do a bunch more with it. Get people sick of it. Because if people start liking it, it's always there. I can go get more. Throw that in the bucket. This is one of the first rocks I found. And I knew I had something because of the weight. And I'd learned by watching Katie did them to look for these certain patterns on that rock. Like these little, they look like little fingernail places on there. And it was just so heavy. And I hadn't shined it or anything. But it is absolutely, I did that. I busted the end off of it. This is when I really first started. And my little niece, her birthstone is red. And when I held it up to the sun, I could see some red. So I was always going to cut it. You know how we do. We're going to do it later. And I just never have yet. I've got the other piece to it as well. I just think it's a beautiful rock. And it's heavy. And for some reason that always tells my brain that I got something. The weight of it. And it don't have any fractures in it at all. Nothing. Might see an old one right there that's been healed. But that's going to be pretty when you cut it and have all them colors exposed. Okay. This came from my creek. Sorry, y'all. I just can't quit saying it. I'm just going to quit apologizing. I'm going to say it over and over and over. I'm actually excited because once a month we get to go eat pizza. And tonight is pizza night. I'm actually going to do something and take some pictures of it because it's in Slap Out. And a lot of people think that's crazy. I mean, I grew up hearing it, so it was normal to me. But Slap Out's a little bitty place. I mean, there might be 500 or 600 people there. But it's so far away from everything. So if you got a restaurant there that's still open, you know they doing it. And man, do they have some good pizza. It's got a little pizza place there. And I'm going to do something with it tonight. I'm going to do a little video with it. But she does a buffet every day at 12 o'clock for lunch break. And then they close and then she opens back up again at 4. Now, I just thought that was just a beautiful rock. I guess it would be cut in half. I'm not absolutely sure. I'm surprised I didn't take it and see if it would take I usually take stuff like this in and I'll just polish the end of it just to see what I can do with it, but I wouldn't have done that to this because it's just so special. It's a good size rock too. Big old rock. It's going back to the creek. I'm just grabbing now. I always like these. They've got those little markings on it that Katie and them talk about. I do not know what it is, but I have cleaned it and all this white skin comes off. And it is the prettiest stuff. you can see the different colors that run through it, like yellow, red, pink, orange, and it just gets really red. And all this is skin. It'll all come off. You see that red coming through there. And you talk about a pretty shiny rock. That joker will shine up like nothing else. Even with all the lights on in here. That is a beautiful rock. And I have got a bunch of it. Big old pieces. And it goes all the way into blues. I've got some that's blue and purple that runs into that red. Just a really nice, big old nice heavy rock with no cracks. There might be a little bit of stuff right there. Yep. See, I wouldn't even pick this up now. I brought it home before I started getting real picky. See those shapes? That's what Katie showed me a long time ago. I don't forgot why she said that, but I actually looked that up trying to find that. And that is from fractures from it hitting as it's tumbling down the river or creek. And as the sand wipes it down, you know, smooths it off, that's what you'll end up with, this little bitty fingernail. They look like snake scale, like a fish scale. But you can't feel it at all. But that piece I had earlier with the red, that's what this was. Yes. That's what comes out of that. With all that sparkle going on. I still think that's beautiful. Can you believe I just discovered all that sparkle today? I sit there and work this rock and everything and did not notice all that inside of it. No telling what that is. With all that black sand down there. But anyway. And remember, no cleaned. And you know how you sitting there and you looking and you got hundreds of rocks everywhere. I have to sit here and figure out why I picked it up. I can see the lines and stuff in it, and I know it's got a thick skin on it now. See, okay, that. Let's get it wet. Yeah, see that right there? Plus, you got to remember, I was picking all this up real quick just to get it home to have some kind of entertainment for my mother. Because when all that mess started, I turned that TV off. I didn't want to hear any of it. I didn't care. I don't like people talking bad about each other. And they were getting horrible. Look at all that. It is a nice rock. It's really heavy, and you can see that it has insides going on. Look at that structure right there. And these are like bots. They go back up into it. So it's got a once upon a time, and it has not ended its story. Because that is really pretty stuff right here. I'm not sure how good that's coming over. If I'm blurred out. Sometimes if you don't keep this straight, it'll focus in on it. I mean, it'd probably look even better if I'd clean that out. Good and heavy, big old rock. Going back to the creek. This came from my creek. I find it all the time. I've got a huge piece sitting in my window. Not sure what that is running through there, but it feels and looks like opal. Well, I don't know, because opal is a little, well, it's kind of waxy. It's just been through the mill, so it's hard to say. And some of it has a smell. I can smell it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there are black lines in there that look like fortification lines, and they'll come around these little, yeah, you can smell this. It has an odd smell coming out of it. So, I don't know, it might be poisonous. But you can see how beautiful that is. It's a good solid rock. This looks like sand up here, but that's definitely not that black. I don't see how there's a good and a bad to any of it. If you like something, it's like I did that video on mica. I've always loved mica ever since I was a little kid. Like diamonds, big old chunks. I used to find mica that big as your hand. But when you start looking for it like that, you ain't gonna find it. People would take it. I'd show it to them, and they'd like it, and I'd just give it away. I didn't care. I've never really been a collector. I just really like finding it, and the joy of giving it to somebody that really likes it. That really does something for me. I'd rather give it away than to have it, unless it's opal. I'm gonna keep that. Unless they really like it, then I'll give it to them. That's a beautiful rock. It still just amazes me that I found that in a creek, my creek in Alabama, when they said it don't supposed to be there. But then when I started reading about the Alabama River, I found out it's very rich in old fossils and petrified wood and stuff like that from all the years. And then when you find something where you can see that going down into that. There's something inside that one. You can tell by the weight of it. It's too big to be that light. It don't have a rattle. But you can see where potholes. Boy, I will never type that again. You can see the little structures inside of there. You can actually see it better on the camera. I'm just gonna go ahead and wet stuff. Taking too long. See, you can just imagine how that's gonna look polished or washed. I've never washed any of this. I've just been collecting it, slinging it, and going the next time. That's a big, nice rock. If I'm not mistaken. Yep, see there, you can see right through that joker. See how that is? Even with that light on, it's coming through. It's a beautiful rock. It's always pretty to me when you can shine that light on there and it'll go all the way through it. But it's growing around this host rock there. That's another piece of that wood. Not much to it. Just beautiful when it's cut. You can see the chalcedony running in there. Got white. No telling what that's going to look like when you actually cut it. You can see little bites and fortification lines and where it's broken and fractures have been healed. It's a beautiful rock. Like I said, this is going to be one of the ones that go back. It's to make room for my new stuff. This is another piece of wood. It's the creek I almost killed myself in a couple of weeks ago. That's why some of y'all seeing old posts that I'm just now talking to. Because, I mean, I really got hurt, y'all. I just wasn't going to tell nobody. I almost didn't make it out of there. It was way dark when I got halfway back. And I couldn't hardly walk. And it done got below 30 degrees. And I was freezing. My feet were wet. And I was hurt real bad. I hurt both my legs, my knees, my feet, my arm, my ribs, and my spine. I'm not going to be going back like that no more. I got to limit myself. You can see how pretty that is. It's just got a skin over it. I guess people that tumble, this would just be a beautiful tumbled rock. I don't even know what kind of agate that would be called. It reminds me kind of, I don't know. I can't remember now. I was going to have it right in my head. Crawley. But we're in Alabama. So I don't know where that's going to, but I just know how beautiful that would be if it was nice and tumbled, which I have no desire at all to tumble rocks. None. That is for some people, and it's not for me. That's a piece of wood. This is a really nice piece of agatized wood. Light to go through that. And of course, I'll do a video doing just that. Well, I was wrong. No, yeah, I was. That looked like it was. It looked like light would have went through it. It don't. Sorry, y'all. I start looking at this thing and I forget that I'm actually filming. Love this. That's like that little piece I had that I showed you with the lines in it. This stuff polishes up and shines like you would not believe. But you look at them lines in there, and that stuff is beautiful. And it goes straight through. Looks like trees coming out of the hills at night. And I just know there's some gifted people out there that could really make some beautiful stuff out of this. Look at there. That is just amazing. I knew that was crystal. I was just waiting. That black, I mean, I wish y'all could see how beautiful the strength, this like webs going through it. the lines. It totally changes when you put that light on there. But that is a beautiful rock. I just, for some reason, that makes me think of pine trees right there coming out of the ground. And then to have it shine through like that, it's like, wow, whatever that is pretty. Keeping that one. I have a keeping pile and a going back pile over here. This is some more of that. Don't know what it is, but it's pretty and it shines up really easy and nice. And it lights up like nothing else. Nobody's business. Ain't that something? How pretty that is. I like it. I will keep that. It's a good size, thick little rock. Pretty good if I cleaned it. This is another piece like that. This is where I found that a lot of that mica that I was filming. You see how dirty that is. It'll just be like this crystal or whatever this is, and just beautiful stuff. And I know I can work it and turn it into something really nice. You just, unless you know what that feels like, you're not going to look at it other than just a rock. And this is the stuff that had the had that color in it that I showed earlier. It's just like a crystal. See, I didn't put this. This wasn't in that video the other night because it's showing straight white. Where the ones I had the other night was yellow and had that mica in it. This is a piece. See, I knocked that whole chunk off right there, and that's that piece that I had. Oh, there it is. That's what this came from. It has that color in it. There it is. But yeah, this came from this. It was on there. Just like that. I pulled it off. I don't know what it'll do wet. Nothing. I'm proud of my little cabochons because that was the first ones I ever done. Good memories. And some bad, but I think that's just life, you know. That bad comes with good. I have really made some great people. Great, I don't like to say friends because we're on YouTube together, but we don't really know each other. And everybody puts their best foot forward. But I have met some wonderful people. Man, I have seen some things around the world that you just would not believe. And I am enjoying myself every second of it now that I've freed myself from worrying or needing people's approval. That just really freed me. So if you're starting out and doing something with YouTube, just kind of do your thing. And sometimes that advice ain't coming from a good place. Never delete your stuff, ever. I almost deleted the very video. I had a video I did, and the next morning I woke up and my 190 went to 900 overnight because somebody decided to share it. I did not. I had no idea why people were begging somebody to share their videos. Because I've never asked for a like or a share or subscribe. I don't ask. I go and I talk to people, and if they like me, they come back and they watch my videos and then click. And I have my community that I'm with now. People think that it's weird how people think they know stuff about you or what you're doing, and they have no idea, no clue at all. It's just really strange to me. Never met a group of people that can decide things so easily. But I have to say I'm guilty of it, because I have judged some people on here and then be wrong. But I usually keep my mouth shut until after the fact. And if I need to apologize, I do. I've only done that once. A lot of times it's a complete surprise. I'm getting used to that. I'm glad I found out when I first started. I don't have to mess with this stuff later on. I can just go about my business and do what I'm doing, because I am merely here I'm just having fun. This is a distraction for me, and it is welcomed. I am having such a good time and learning so much. See how pretty that joker is? I found this not too long ago on a video. I was so excited because this is my first rock that I ever found while I was filming that I liked. Because a lot of it I've learned to throw down. Oh, that's it. That's what I was looking for. That's my first Jasper I ever found. Very first, and I'd never even seen it in my creek. And I didn't know what I was looking at when I found it. They told me when I took it into the rock shop. So what I did is, when I find stuff that I don't know what it is, I'll get on the wheels and I'll just work one end of it. You see right here where I cut it. Right there, I cut it. And that's where this cabochon came from. Right there. You see it perfectly. I accidentally set it down in the perfect spot, because that's the line it went through. But yeah, that's the cabochon that came from this. And what I did is I went in, let me dry this as much as I can. I'll take this stuff in just to test it, because I don't know anything about it. And I'll have it, and I know what I'm like, okay, this is nice and all that. But then I'll just do one end of it just to see if it'll take a shine. And this is before I cut it and make a cabochon. I just test it, is what I'm calling it, just to see if I can get a shine out of it. And I did, right there on that, because I just shined from here to there, just taking it and putting it on that wheel and hitting it on each one and working my way down all the way to the end, and got a perfect shine on that. And I realized it would make a good one, and it did. It made a pretty good one. Only did one, but I did it. And probably never touch it again. Not absolutely sure what that is. I know light to go through it, and it is very dirty. Very dirty. It's a crystal, some kind, probably just quartz. But it looks like what they call a limb casting, because of the way it just, I don't know, it's just a look about it. Throw some of this down. And I'm going to do several of these, because I'm taking all this stuff back, like I said, and I want to get it on video before I do that. And that way I can take it back, throw it down, let somebody else have a good time finding it. This is what I found the day I hurt myself. one of them. And y'all seen that other beautiful stuff I got. I'll have to show that another time. I got that outside. That just goes all the way through and it's smooth. Real heavy. I had to get back up there to my uncle's land on that goat farm. There's some beautiful stuff in there. And then see, you can't really see it, but you can see into this. There's a lot of that structure I was pointing out earlier, like tiger stripe. I have no idea what this is whatsoever. I just like the layers. I think that might be what they call chert, or it could be wood. I don't know. It'll go back. Now this is a pretty piece. It's got, go ahead and get it wet. So you can see why I picked it up. And that runs through it, and all this looks like fractures, but they're healed. There's not a crack in it. How beautiful that is. You could imagine how cut, how pretty that would be. Or tumbled, I believe. My brain don't think about tumbling very much. I'm cut and polish. That's where my head's at. Because I could never, in that way, that's done right there. That is not a break. That was another structure that was in there that this formed around. Either way, however it formed. But that is it looks like the shape of a crystal, the way it's formed. This is some more of that black that I collect. See those little marks? I think that what that shows is it's enough in it to get that look like glass. No. See, this is not one that shines through. I just don't know, because the ones you don't realize, and all of a sudden, boom, you got it. But yeah, the cut, you can cut that. And of course, that'll be straight black. It's just those healed lines. This is another piece of it. See how pretty that is. Get it wet. See that, how beautiful that is? And it'll shine up. I mean, you can see by that one old fracture there, the depth that white has in it. That's what made me think you could. I don't think I even tried with this one. No, you can't see through it. But it's a beautiful rock. It'd be easy to shine. Kind of broke like that obsidian, the way it's broke right there. And I didn't think we had obsidian in Alabama, but apparently we do. I went to my dentist and he had somebody doing some construction work in North Alabama, not north, but north of here, not far, maybe 20 miles, and they found a big old piece of it. This is that stuff again. See how nice and black silky that is? I remember finding that. It was on video. There's another piece. It's always prettier wet. It's funny how the human imagination can show you pictures. They got a name for that. I looked it up. Can't remember what it was, but it's next to crazy. It's just the same way we look at clouds and see rabbits. And look at a rock and see stuff in it. That was a pretty one. That was in one of my videos. It's not coming through how red that is. Let me get it wet. I think I'm going to set all my rig up and get down that creek in that natural sunlight. And man, that'd make some pretty videos. Just get down there and sit in that creek and let that sunlight hit me this spring. And just sit there and do videos live in the creek. Wouldn't hurt nobody. I'm fixing to buy a live pocket Wi-Fi device where you can go anywhere and have your Wi-Fi with you. We all see I've been on here for an hour and 30 minutes. I doubt anybody's still here. But this is what I'm going to post. I found this that day I got hurt. And it is going to be beautiful. Of course, I hadn't touched it since the day I got hurt. This is the first time. But you can see that joker is pretty. That's one of the reasons I kept it. I was shining in one, like had the sun coming in. And you could see it from the edge of it. Probably that edge. See how you can just shine it and it'll go right through it. And that's a big rock. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's got real nice shapes and form inside of it. Especially right up in there. That is something else. I know it'd make some beautiful pieces for somebody that was going to make jewelry. You could get enough out of it to do several different things. But there's a lot of this in different shapes and colors. And when you get that white skin off of there, it will, like I said, it will shine through like a piece of glass. Because you want to say white, because you see the white on top. But when all this is, if somebody was to tumble this, I have no idea what that would look like. To me, in my imagination, it would be almost a clear piece of glass, but then have these fine lines running all through it. And see, I've got this in this color, and I've got it in just a deep, dark orange. But that's my bag full I had for today. Well, I got me another one. Oh, here we go. A few more. You can see all the bots down in there. If you're a local person from Alabama, or if you're coming through Alabama, I'll be glad to take you to this creek. That's flat. Of course, this is dry. But yeah, it's I don't put out where it is, because I've seen what can happen to places when that happens. So I'd have to talk to you and check out who you are and what you are and what you're about before I show you where I'm getting this stuff at.